All right, so Pierre Poilievre is back on the attack once again. He's got a couple really nice short little clips or ads that he put out. So I'm going to start with this one here he put on YouTube. It says he actually believes this. So let's have a look, and then we'll talk about what he has to say after, like usual.
One of the reasons why families have a hard time to afford their groceries is because we haven't had productivity.
Okay.
Productivity.
Got to pause it there real quickly. Sorry about that. What? We don't have productivity? Yet how many people from whatever media conglomerate or journalists you see interviewing on the street, average people, what are they saying? I got to work a bunch of overtime. I need multiple jobs just to live a basic standard life. So there's another lie by Mark Carney. It's the lack of productivity. I mean, what a stupid thing to say. Listen, I think I was duped just like the rest of us. I was more worried about Mark Carney because I thought he was smarter than Trudeau. Every time he opens his mouth, I mean, it's either, I know I stutter sometimes, but Jesus Christ. And now this. Oh, you know what? We actually send America the most semiconductors, and it turns out we're 17th. Or something like that. It's like, nothing this guy says is true. And he's not even a good liar.
Productivity.
I'm in the process right now looking for a full-time job.
Many people are working multiple jobs, trying to keep themselves afloat.
Hustling. I have like 3 different jobs, and I'm in school.
Kids who eat like this at a young age, it's like I want to be able to feed them without being nervous or scared.
Like I make pretty decent money, but I'm still paycheck to paycheck.
And the average family of 4 expected to spend about another $800 for basically the same basket of groceries.
People are trying to keep their lights on, pay their rent. They're seeing a record number of working poor.
Price of groceries, very, very high, very expensive.
Can't afford gas, food, rent on minimum wage, right? People can barely do it on like $30 an hour.
Productivity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you live in Toronto, I mean, I don't know how people do it. I know people who live out there. I went to high school with them, but they lived out there for like a decade or more and are still paying, you know, closer to what they used to be paying. But I mean, with the rent skyrocketing, if you're moving out there right now, you know, as a young man or woman, you're not surviving on a minimum wage. There's no way. How could you possibly? Unless you're working minimum wage 80 hours a week, which is insane and no one should have to do to have a basic life. I'm not saying don't work hard, but your hard work should actually mean something. And considering that wages are stagnant, everything is just so much more expensive than it used to be just 15, 16 years ago when I was 18, 19 years old. And I moved out on my mom's after like 6 months. I was living in a downtown apartment in Burlington, Ontario, with a girlfriend at the time who wasn't working for the first few months. And I paid for everything, and it was a little bit stressful, but we could do it. Now, good luck. That apartment I used to rent was $700. And I checked on it a couple of years ago because it became available, $1,700 2 years ago. It's insane. And I know I hear people from out west, BC especially, it's insane. I don't know how anyone can afford it, and this asshole has got the nerve to come out and say, well, you know, it's a lack of productivity. Like, dude, I can't believe I thought this guy was smart. Although it's not from my personal views, I just heard he was and believed it for some reason. Now we go over here to X, and Pierre Poilievre posted something that says, common sense conservatives will bring jobs and investment home to Canada to create powerful paychecks for our people. He's got another petition for people to sign if you want to go ahead and do that. He's linked it up here. So let's have a look at what he said here, then we'll talk about this as well.
I'm also going to pass a massive bring-it-home tax cut on work, investment, energy, and home building.
Now, why would you do that? Because a lot of people hear tax cuts and they say, oh, well, we've got to cut something then.
Well, look.
As in cut services.
Right now, the taxes are so much higher in Canada than they are in the US. That's why $500 billion has left our country for the American economy. Why do you think Mark Carney moved his headquarters to New York? Why do you think he, while he was at Brookfield, moved so many billions of dollars out of Canada into the United States, taking our jobs and giving them to the Americans? Because the US economy is much lower taxed and it's easier to do business there. So the reality is, as long as we have higher taxes, significantly higher taxes on work, investment, home building, energy, our jobs are going to continue to flow south even without tariffs. We need to bring that money home.
And he's right. And people say, well, we pay taxes for these services. There's no secret that the Liberals massively overspend. Massively. Not to mention all the damn scandals with the Green Slush Fund, the ArriveCan app. Remember that? Would they give to their friends who own some company to create an app with something $60 million or something like that? It's ridiculous. And they send money to every other country other than Canada. Like, to say we need all these taxes, like, no, we don't, because first of all, we're sending a lot of this money to other countries anyway. And second of all, they're clearly overspending. So, sorry, we don't need the carbon tax. Even Mark Carney now apparently agrees he's going to cut the carbon tax. But we all know why. Not because he actually doesn't like it. It's because Canadians don't like it, and he needs to win an election. So he's going to do that. Hopefully for him, not for us. He wins, and then he's going to just add another one, and it's probably going to be even bigger. This guy is not here to help anybody. This guy's it just drives me nuts. Some people are like, no, he's a new fresh face. He's a banker. What, are you kidding me? You trust a banker? Honestly. I know most of you don't, but some people somehow do. They can't get it through their head. Those people are some of the least trustworthy people you'll ever meet. And we're going to vote for him? Well, I'm not, and I know most of you won't either. But, listen. Mark Carney's... It's just a really weird time right now. We have this weird so-called surge in the polls, but then other polls come out saying, no, Pierre Poilievre's still up by 10 or more points. But then the media keeps saying, no, it's going to be close. And then Leger comes out, who's usually a pretty good, accurate pollster, comes out and also completely flips the script and says that, well, it's a tie now. But yet 9 days later, they had the Conservatives up by 10. So what's going on there? That's not very consistent. Public opinion doesn't change by 10 points in 9 days. Unless there's like a major scandal or something, which there hasn't been. Well, it's because of the Trump tariffs. Okay, but Pierre Poilievre has also said he would retaliate with tariffs, which is what the Liberals are doing, which is what Doug Ford's doing. So if he shouldn't be doing that, in their opinion, what should he be doing? Now, again, I don't like the tariff threat. I think we need to listen to Donald Trump and do what he wants because, let's be honest, he's not asking for something unreasonable here. He's asking us to help fix the border. And that should be our number one commitment right now. But it's just fear-mongering by the media. Oh, he's trying to annex Canada. No, he's not. If Canada secedes, it's not going to be all of Canada. It's going to be Alberta, followed by Manitoba. Then probably BC, and then Quebec probably separates and goes on its own. If it happens, that's probably how it would happen. I'm not sure it would. At least right now, I don't think there's enough appetite for it, but there could be. And voting in Mark Carney would also help that, by the way. You think this guy's going to negotiate with Trump? He's an idiot. He can't even negotiate with Canadians. Most Canadians don't know who he even is. 130,000 people out of 400,000 so-called registered voters apparently voted this guy in. 130,000? What did Pierre Poilievre get? Like 280,000 for the Conservative leadership race? And that wasn't even for the next Prime Minister. 131,000 people. And yet the media is going to tell us that this guy's surging and, oh, it's close. I don't believe it. I still think that the Conservatives are going to win 200 plus seats. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But let me know what you guys think. I always enjoy reading your guys' comments. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, so it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.